It's an absolute pleasure to be able to rise in the House today and pay tribute to James Breithaupt, better known as Jim to his constituents and members of this House. I'd like to welcome his daughter Martha and grandchildren and the rest of his family and friends who have joined us here today to celebrate Jim's legacy. Representing the riding of Kitchener from 1967 until his resignation in 1985, Jim still holds the record for the longest-serving Member of Provincial Parliament from Waterloo Region. Although I never had the opportunity to meet him, I've had enough conversations with my colleagues and local residents to know that Jim served with honour and dignity, never losing sight of the responsibility he had towards his community through the 18 years he was in office. And I think I can speak for all members of this House from Waterloo Region when I say this impact will never soon be forgotten. Before serving his community here at Queen's Park, Jim was a gunner in the Royal Canadian Artillery, rising to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the Canadian Reserves, and he was made an honorary colonel in the 7th Toronto Regiment. Jim's support for our troops and veterans did not diminish after leaving the armed forces. He remained a strong supporter of the Last Post Fund, serving as president of the Ontario Board of Directors. For those of you who do not know, the Last Post Fund is dedicated to ensuring that no veteran is denied a funeral, burial, or military gravestone due to financial hardship. Jim's lasting impact on Waterloo Region and beyond cannot be understated. Jim served as Vice Chairman of Waterloo Lutheran's University Board of Governors and had various other active roles on the campus for over 30 years. While many of us may not recognize the name Waterloo Lutheran University, I am sure that many here will know Wilfrid Laurier University, and it was Jim who suggested that name for the new university in 1973. He was an active volunteer with St. John's Ambulance for over 40 years and was honoured with a Knight of Justice of the Order of St. John. He also worked with countless other organizations that do incredible work in Waterloo Region, including the Royal Canadian Legion, Concordia Club, and the Waterloo Historical Society. In this place, Jim is remembered fondly by his colleagues as a dignified, courteous, and respectful man of the House, to use the words of Sean Conway. Norm Sterling, who has joined us today, who spent years on the opposite side of the House from him, recalls Jim for his love of his role as an elected official and as a trusted voice here in this legislature. Jim will always be remembered for his duty inside of this House, as well as to his country and, of course, his community. It is in that sense of honour and duty that serves as an inspiration to myself, and I would like to imagine to all other members of this House. We are all here with a responsibility to serve our constituents to the absolute best of our abilities, and even after 5 consecutive successful elections, Jim never lost sight of that. He left a positive, lasting impression on those who met him, both in his personal and civic life. The awards he received after his service as an MPP are far too numerous to list in this short amount of time. But notably, he was made a Knight of Merit by the Government of Poland and received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. Jim deserves today's tribute from all sides of the House for his life full of service to the people of Waterloo Region, our province, and our country. So many of us come into this role hoping to make a positive mark on our community. Jim's career and legacy is a bar worth striving for, Mr. Speaker. Thank you again to Martha and his grandchildren who have joined us here today. It's an honour to remember your father, your grandfather. Thank you.